He fought for his country but lost everything the day he came home. Marcus Johnson had survived ambushes in Afghanistan, landmines in Syria, and sleepless nights patrolling hostile territory, but nothing prepared him for what he saw when he walked through his own front door in Georgia. Clutching a bouquet of fresh roses and his military duffel, Marcus tiptoed into the home he hadn't seen in 2 years, his heart pounding with excitement. He kept his return a secret, planning the ultimate surprise for his wife, Danielle. He imagined her scream of joy, the tears, the tight embrace, maybe even their daughter running into his arms. But as he pushed open the door, he froze. There on his couch sat Danielle, not alone. A shirtless man lounged beside her, laughing, a beer in hand, her legs draped over him. They didn't hear Marcus at first, but when they did, the room went silent, then shattered. What followed was not just heartbreak, but a cascade of twists that no one saw coming. Marcus was trained for war, but this was a battle for his soul. Before we dive in, please support us by 1 subscribe, like, and share for more with activating the notification bell. Thank you. Marcus Johnson had dreamed of this moment for months. The day he would come home, not on a video call, not through a letter, but in person, in full uniform. He'd imagined Danielle running to him, crying. He'd imagined his 5-year-old daughter, Lila, hugging his leg, screaming, "Daddy." He had enlisted straight after high school and quickly rose through the ranks. After a year-long deployment overseas, he extended it voluntarily for another 12 months, sending most of his paychecks back home to give Danielle and Lila a better life. The house, one of those charming suburban single-story homes, stood exactly as he left it. He paused at the front porch, nerves fluttering in his stomach, roses in one hand, duffel in the other. He turned the doorknob, unlocked. Surprise, he whispered to himself, grinning. What greeted him inside wiped the smile clean off his face. In the softly lit living room, Marcus saw Danielle, his wife of 7 years, laughing on the couch with another man, shirtless, tattooed, a beer in one hand and his other hand resting on her thigh. Danielle was wearing one of Marcus's old army t-shirts, his shirt. For a second, they didn't notice him. Marcus stepped forward, the floor creaking. The man looked up. His smile fell. Danielle turned. Her jaw dropped. "Marcus," she said. Breathless. Marcus stood frozen. His bag slipped off his shoulder. The roses hit the ground. Danielle scrambled off the couch, panicked. "Wait, is not what it looks like." The man stood, trying to explain, but Marcus didn't say a word. He turned around and walked out. He didn't even know where he was going. All he knew was he couldn't breathe. Marcus wandered aimlessly down the street. His military training told him to process, assess, and act, but this wasn't a battlefield. This was home. He ended up at an all-night diner. He sat in the far corner, still in uniform, the roses now crumpled in his hand. The waitress poured him coffee and asked if he was okay. He didn't answer. His phone buzzed. 12 missed calls, all from Danielle. He ignored them. He remembered everything, the letters she'd sent him about how much she missed him, the photos she'd posted on Facebook with captions like "Can't wait for my hero to come home." The video call 2 weeks ago where she wore the same t-shirt, now tainted with betrayal. How long had it been going on? Was it just once? Or had that man been living in his house while Marcus was risking his life overseas? When morning broke, Marcus finally called his best friend from the base, Corporal James J. Dawson, who lived an hour away. Jay drove immediately. "I got a spare room. Stay as long as you need," he said. Marcus, who hadn't cried during the deployments, finally broke down. And the worst part, he missed Lila, his little girl. And now, he didn't even know if he could face her. 2 days later, Marcus met Danielle at a coffee shop. She came alone, puffy eyes, shaking hands. "I'm sorry," she began. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that." Marcus said nothing. She explained that the man, Chris, had been a friend who helped around after she had a rough patch mentally. It was loneliness. She said, "I thought you were never coming back. You thought I was dead." "No, I waited so long." Marcus, that didn't explain the beer, the shirtless lounging, the lies. Then Marcus asked the one thing that had been haunting him, "Is Lila mine?" Danielle froze, her face contorted. "Don't ask me that. I have to know." She didn't answer. The next week, Marcus took a DNA test. It came back, 99.9% match. Lila was his dot. Relief hit him like a wave, but so did fury. Danielle had allowed a man into his daughter's life while Marcus was out fighting wars. Jay encouraged him to speak to a lawyer, not just for divorce but for custody. "I'll do whatever I have to," Marcus said. "I might have lost my wife, but I won't lose my daughter." Danielle didn't go down without a fight. Her lawyer tried to paint Marcus as emotionally unstable from military trauma. They even brought up a bar fight Marcus had been in 2 years ago while on leave. But Marcus came prepared. His military record was spotless. No criminal charges. Letters from commanders, psychologists, and even fellow soldiers testified to his character. In court, Marcus described how he had sacrificed for his country, for his family, and how his only wish was to be a father to his daughter. When Danielle was asked why another man was living in Marcus's home, she admitted to her emotional confusion, but insisted she had never meant for things to go so far. The judge, seeing through the performance, granted Marcus joint custody with a favorable visitation schedule. Danielle was ordered to move out of the house Marcus had bought it in his name. Lila's reaction when Marcus visited her for the first time after weeks. She ran into his arms. "Daddy," she screamed. "You came back." Marcus held her tightly and whispered, "Always, no matter what." That day, he made her a promise he would never let anyone come between them again. Months passed. Marcus started therapy through the VA. He joined a local veteran support group. He enrolled in night classes to study criminal justice. With Jay's help, he even picked up part-time work at a security firm. He spent every other weekend with Lila. They baked cookies, watched cartoons, played soccer in the yard. Her laughter was the only thing that healed his soul. One evening, Marcus was invited to speak at a local high school about integrity, discipline, and sacrifice. He ended with, "You can fight battles overseas and still lose at home, but you can also rebuild. You can choose to rise." The students gave him a standing ovation. Later that night, as he tucked Lila into bed during a sleepover weekend, she asked, "Daddy, are you happy now?" Marcus smiled, kissed her forehead, and said, "I'm getting there." He came home a decorated soldier but found his world in ruins. Still, Marcus didn't let heartbreak define him. He turned betrayal into strength, pain into purpose. His uniform may be hung, but the fight for fatherhood made him a new kind of hero. Sometimes, the bravest thing a soldier can do is heal.